Hello? Now you can. Hello? Hello?
Are you off silent on your phone? Like off vibrate?
Oh,
Now try.
Hello? 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 Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hello?
no. Nice speaker.
Now you can. Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
There, now I'm on.
Are you off silent on your phone?
Hello.
Like off
Hello.
vibrate?
Oh, it's all delayed?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be delayed. It'll be delayed.
Hello? 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 Hi, Heather.
Did you hear?
It's delayed. It's
Not yet.
delayed.
Volume up?
Remember, it's delayed.
The mic is working.
No, it was like a good delay.
Yeah, it was pretty delayed.
What are you sharing through?
YouTube Live.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty legit. Hey, Heather. It's
Just they don't get the music. Which they
Okay, nobody's allowed to talk.
I don't know sign language.
Yeah, I'm in over sure.
Hey, should I pause it?
Or you can grab it.
Should I pause it?
Okay, nobody's allowed to talk.
I don't know sign language.
Yeah, so yes. Can you turn the mic off? You should be able to just turn the mic off.
I
Oh.
am so brilliant.
What'd you do? Turn the mic
they
off?
muted the site,
Mute YouTube.
but they can still hear your.
They
site.
can hear all of us, but we can't. So watch if I got on here.
Oh, okay. So we can't hear ourselves, but they can
So
hear
the
us.
YouTube's not going to give us the sound back.
Gotcha. Can they still hear us then?
We think, yeah.
Are you on the phone with them still?
I can check it on here.
Yeah, as I said, just see if they can hear us still.
I think you did it because it is showing.
It's showing that the mic is moving.
Yeah, I think you did it.
Yes, she hears talking. She doesn't hear any music.
I can check it on here.
We'll wait though because maybe the music hasn't made it yet.
It's showing that the mic is moving.
Oh no.
Yeah, we've heard that. on YouTube ourselves.
Crystal tide forever. let me get my act together. Yeah. They were both tough. 2 months, a little too fast. Okay, hold on, it's 2 seconds. Might have to do it this way.
Hey, you guys can't talk because
Makes all the difference.
this isn't gonna work because it's gonna pick up them talking the whole time.
All right, seriously, get it together. Your dad raised you better than this. All right, here we go. Can you guys hear me? I know I had the sunnies on too. I might put them back. All right, so Chad, Alan, Barton, are you present and accounted for?
Well, you're starting a little low.
How do you know that?
I can feel it.
Chad Alan Barton, not Alan Dean Barton. I knew you were here. Give me a little credit.
I was like, yeah.
All right. Is he here? Can someone
I
text
don't
him?
know, Mom.
Because anyway, you know, we have a little brother, 15 years younger than us, who cannot make it, and I feel bad for him on these days. That's the tears. So, home alone. Well, not alone, but you know, not here. Gotta be with your peeps. All right. On behalf of my brothers, Alan and Chad, we want to say thank you for attending the celebration of life for Dad. I would also like to take a minute and give Chad, Aiden, and Bella great big air hugs if I know they're on, and send my love, because this is tough. They're back home in Colorado with their friends. So we love you, and we're hugging you all so tight. I also want to thank all of you for coming back again so quick, and those that stopped by the house and fed him and treated him to treats and visited. So fabulous. It helped. So here we go. Sorry you have to hear me again unless someone else wants to volunteer to read my hand scratch. No, nobody taking it. All right, I'm gonna blame you. It's with the heaviest of hearts we now gather to celebrate our dad's life. John Allen Barton passed away from simply a broken heart in his home in Mesa, Arizona on October 16th. As you know, we were just in this room, I've been saying it already, talking about how Linda spent her dash, and we know that the numbers on the markers or the numbers on the obituaries are just not enough. It's the beginning and the passing to a new planet, but it is not how they spent their and lived their life. So that's the reason for these celebrations, is that we remember those good memories, at least in my silly heart. So thank you for being here. And hopefully today, when we go over Daddy's life, attached to Linda's, you've heard this story before, you'll know that he lived a life well lived, for sure. Many are probably very jealous of the things he accomplished. All right, here we go. Dad was born on November 5th, 1944 in Englewood, Colorado. Daddy was the last of 3 siblings born from the love of Johnson and Anna Barton. Dad was preceded in death by the love of his life, Linda Barton, Linda Lee Prince Barton. His grandparents, John Henry Johnson and Cora B. Johnson. His grandparents, Emmanuel Barton and the Lily Reed Barton. His parents, Johnson Barton, that's not confusing, and Anna Olivia Johnson Barton. Also not confusing. We're not related. Don't go thinking that. All right. Siblings, Mary Ellen, who we called Mimi, Curtis Barton, Ronald Pa Curtis, her beautiful husband, Joyce Ann, or Auntie Joyce, or Jaja, as we all know her, and his niece, Rochelle. That one gets me too. Sorry. She was young. Back together, people. His family circle consisted of, you've heard this before, 3 kids, 3 bratty kids, 7 grandchildren, 6 great-grandchildren, and who knows what's coming down the pike. He was Uncle Johnny to so many nieces and nephews, and now great nieces and nephews. But just like that, not to throw pressure, Alan, but you're now the patriarch of this family.
I got big shoulders.
He's survived by his daughter, Angela, you're speaking to her now, her children, Kaylee Ann, her guy, Mike, her next daughter, Kara, her guy, Aaron, and Henley and Harlan. Are you guys in the house? Doing it? sorry. Okay. My next daughter, Ashley, her guy William is not in attendance and is home with my grandchild Zane and my grandchild Jace. But I have Ashley here and the youngest grandbaby London. Say hi. Say hi. Hi, London. All right. Okay, that's about what I expected. All right, and then we've got Alan. Oh wait, I forgot her last time too. I might have done it on purpose. Oopsie. Her last child, Crystal, not the baby, right? And her guy, Mike. And I want to thank these kids so much. And my crew this morning put things together so beautifully. He likes it. He's happy. I can feel him. So thanks, everybody. All right, so here we go. Dad was born in Englewood, Colorado, the youngest of those three siblings. Mary Ellen was 13 years older than him. Sounds like my life somewhat. And then lo and behold, he had an 18-month-old than him sister. So two separate families, basically. And guess who was very, very, very spoiled because of those sisters? Yeah. John was born and raised in Englewood, Colorado. While caring for him and Linda the last few years, I got lost. While caring for Dad and Linda over the last couple of years and really getting to enjoy their company and catching up, I was able to hear so many stories, sometimes over and over again, but that's okay. That is okay. Each time it changed a little bit, also okay, I kept up. As I said, Linda's service, Dad was a great storyteller, and he was born to sell things. He was a born salesman. So I want to share some of those stories with you. You might have heard them all before. If you have, I apologize. Not because of me, because of him. The Barton family house, located in Englewood, Colorado, was on a very large lot. I have it in good authority that Gaga, my grandma, and Dad's mom happened to look out the kitchen window one day at the kitchen sink into the backyard, and little Johnny boy was plucking the feathers off of a chicken. Now I know what you're thinking. At first, Gaga must have been so proud to see her son out there, tiny, digging into the family chores so they could eat supper that night. But then she noticed the chicken was alive. He knew what to do, but he forgot an important chicken feather plucking tip, which is they should not be alive. So Gaga stopped that. But we knew right away, entrepreneur, not afraid to get his hands dirty, right? Salesman, right? At an early age, he also had the ability to take things apart and put them back together again. And in the end, they would still work, sometimes with parts left over, but most of the time they worked even better than when he started. From a very young age, that happened. It's like, I always bragged about this with Dad, it's like he could, somebody attest if you know this, it's like he could see something, like shopping for something, oh, look at that. And then he'd go home and go, I have this old wagon, I'm gonna turn it into that thing, right? So he would magically turn it into something better, buying used parts or less expensive parts, but it looked like the $1 million item had he paid full dollar price for it, right? So he had that ability. During one of his early snowbirding days, when they drive down and spend the time at Lake Powell or wherever, he was like, I need to be able to pull my boat into the water. I don't want to take the truck and the car, so I'm going to build a trailer, and I'm going to figure out how the Honda, back then, not my Honda now, the Honda could back a boat into the water. So he readjusts the Honda to do that. Then he builds a trailer, double-decker. Sees it in his mind. He can take it like the good doctor on that TV show, and he can break it down, and he can see how all the parts move, and then he goes back and he builds it. And I'm like, no way, you bought this. No, I didn't, I built it. So he wanted this double-decker trailer. He fabricates the whole thing, bends metal, buys this, buys tires, gets the trailer axle, puts this thing together, puts a winch on it, he gets the boat just close enough, it would go, right, and load the boat. And then he'd use his little hydraulic toy, raise the boat, and then he would pull the Honda right up onto that trailer. Then they were within their length markers, right, for traveling on highways, and he could take both with him. And his wife, this is the whole reason for the whole thing, so his wife could sit beside him instead of drive behind him. Haley, Crystal, can I have a drink of your water? Is that just water?
At the moment.
Thank you. I promise to never forget you again. You're the best one right now. Just right now. All right. So with that hard work and that handy talent Dad had, he was able to travel all over with all of the nieces and nephews, family outings, friends over the top. Although we can't see it today, the younger years, I guess, right? Those will fade away. True friends are still here to the very end. I love it.
Chad wanted to share that he also had to change the mirrors on the Honda to do that.
Oh,
That's what he
thank
just
you,
said. I
Chad.
just
He
wanted
had
to
to
share
change the mirror. See, that's the reason for having Chad on board too. There's spans of life we need filled in. This ability, along with the gift of not ever knowing a stranger, I don't know where I get that from, would lead to him and Linda going on all those adventures. The Bartons knew that their little Johnny boy, from all this information, was a born salesman at a very early age. Here's another example of what Dad did. His first sales position came when they decided that he could go out and sell pies that Gaga was making. Her and Dad were going to do a side hustle. I don't know the exact age of this side hustle. She's like, Johnny boy, you go out and you sell the pies, you come back, we'll make more pies, we'll sell more pies. They're getting cash for something, I don't know what. Maybe a Red Ryder gun. I don't know. So anyway, Daddy does what she's asked, because who wouldn't? And out he goes, and turns out he's an excellent salesman, sold all of the pies very quickly, came back all amped up, telling Mama that he had sold all the pies, and he needed some more inventory. Let's get it going. He'd go back out again, and she goes, well, where's the pie pans and the plates? Apparently he had forgotten an instruction of sell the pie, but we're gonna need these back, or get this back, have them slide it into something else, and he didn't do that. So they instantly realized they were already out of business until they could go get more pans and pie plates, and there went profits, basically. But you know, this was his first endeavor at business owning. He had just had to sell Gaga's pies. We always have pitfalls in business, so that's what happened. He amped it up from there. When he was a little bit older, he was like, I need some more side hustle money. Mom's probably quit making pies by now, I don't know. So he decides he's gonna run a lawnmower service. He says to his dad, hey, can I borrow the lawnmower? Big lot, right, here on, got it. Yeah, you can borrow the lawnmower. So he starts a business, but being the talker that he is, he discovers that the talking and the selling of his business is way more fun than the actual service, am I right, of the lawn and tree business. So he hires people to do that work, his friends, Mark Lee, I don't know who else. He hires them. He takes a slightly lower profit, not a lot, and he makes the money, his friends make the money, everybody's happy, the lawn looks immaculate. He was the seller and then the checker. Does that not sound like him? Yep, it's him. But that's not all, folks. Guess what? Salesmanship runs in our family. Creativeness runs in our family. So it runs deep. It just gets worse from here, or better. All right, here we go. Here's another example of when he learned how to go door to door, do all of these things. He decided when he was about, I don't know if he was with my mom by now or not, but he was older, a young man. And he went to a transmission shop and he tells this guy, hey, let me work in your transmission shop. And the guy goes, oh, I don't need anybody. I've hired to capacity. I have the guys here that I need. So Dad quickly looks around because he's such a fast thinker, and he sees this room off to the side that's loaded with greasy, old, used, disgusting transmission parts with transmission fluid and grease everywhere. And Dad goes, well, what exactly did the men that worked for you do? And he points over to that room. And he leans on that guy enough. He just told me this story, that's why I know it so well. He leaned on the guy enough that the guy gives him the job. You know what? But he sets a unobtainable goal for him to clean everything up. Because Daddy says, I'll clean it. I'll clean all the parts and get them ready. I'll clean the room. You won't know nothing. You pick the deadline. So he picks this unobtainable deadline, but Dad met it. He knew you got to start doing the job that no one else wants to do, and then you can work your way up. And you get a job. He finishes on time. The guy has to hire him, which was great, but then all the guys that worked for that guy got so mad because he kept bragging, the owner, about how great the room looked, and John really works hard, and what's going on around here, that they did an about face and started to work really well. Started to hurt morale. They asked Dad to leave because, last hired, first fired. So out Dad went. He didn't work there very long, he said. It's so funny. All right, so he has many more stories like this. I won't bore you with anymore. Dad went to Inglewood High School district he lived in Inglewood, Colorado his entire life. There's always been, you know how I say, a story gets bigger and, a little bit more epic as it's being told. So I remember growing up, I did not finish the 8th grade, or Dad or Mom would say it, or Linda would say it, and I'd be like, really, the 8th grade? And so then one year it was 9, and now I've done the research, people. He was in school, might have been off more than on, or in less than out, you know what I'm saying? But he was in there. I found a yearbook picture clear up to his junior year. Till someone came along. Snaps. So then Dad had to become a big boy. He wanted to anyway. He had a big love of cars. Can I have another drink of water? He loved cars, and he decided, I got a baby coming. I love cars. I better get to work and start making money. No, that isn't when I was conceived. I was just making a joke. Anyway, he decided he'd go to work and start making money to buy all of his cars that he loved or keep it running. Raced around town always in his cars, and people knew him, probably avoided trouble sometimes. Sometimes maybe didn't avoid it, I don't know. Anyway, but before his love of cars, wait, let me back up. Before his love of cars, what was he? Do you guys know? When he was little, plucking chickens. He was a cowboy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were, Grandpa was from, and Grandma were from Illinois, and they were farmers, and they were this, and steel workers, and all these things, but Bart sold that feed and got into that business, and then it's been in our family for so long, and that's how, Dad was a cowboy. So here's another story Dad told me all the time. He said, I loved horses and dogs and guns, and I'll never forget how much, hold on, Uncle Ron, or Ron, I guess he called him Ron. He said Ron and Mimi would take me everywhere. 13-year difference. They married in 1951. Ron would take him everywhere, every rodeo, and Ron was quite the equestrian. He was a horseshoer. He did all kinds of things. Dad said just right up to the end watching rodeos, he's like, man, Ron could talk, whisper to a horse just like that. There wasn't a horse around that Ron couldn't talk down. And Dad said, he said, one time I went with Uncle Ron and a horse was having a horse, and he got home with Uncle Ron and he was like, you let him see what, Ron? And so I think he got to go one time and see a horse impregnated, and then he got to see one delivered. Mimi was so upset, but Dad said those days are what taught him all about human life and how he was going to be going forward with his life. See, Pa's kids are in the house. So he loved his brother-in-law very, very much, and he said Ron taught him so. The other thing, what do you call it? Lasso? Yeah, lasso and horse tying and all that. He said Ron was so good, and he goes, I would use that a lot to fight anxiety. Ron would teach me, and you'd have to stay focused on something, and so anyway, tribute to Uncle Ron. He was a big part of Dad's life for sure. Talked about his sisters often and Uncle Ron. So he started to go to work, I said, because he had so many cars, right? Dad has a picture of every car in his phone. I'm going to keep them. But of course, what's his favorite? Does anyone know what his favorite car was when he was young? Alan.
58.
A 1958 Chevy, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's
So
on the back there.
it looks just like that one in the back. Black, just like it. So Alan and I got to ride in almost all of those cars, right? Once we were born forward. And then Chad, when he was born, got to ride in many as well. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only sibling that got to ride in a 1958 Chevy.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. Anyway, in November of 1963, Daddy married my mom, Donna, and just like that, me and Alan were calling her mom and him dad, right? I was born in May of 1964, Alan in May of 66. Got it. Anyway, at that time, Daddy was a race car driver and built his own race cars. So there's building again. There's somebody trying to deliver flowers, I think. So, he built a race car, it was number 65. And he would race at the local track, Inglewood Speedway. So there's my mom in the stands. One day somebody hits Dad in a race, and this story is one of them that changes. He rolled end over end 9 times, and then forward this way, and then it rocked, and it finally landed. I'm like, that many, Mom? Are you sure? And then maybe it's 8, maybe it's 7. I think it's really 4. End over end, though. He did roll for it, end over end. Tire rod broke, tire came off, Dad rolls end over end, and my mom thought for sure he was dead that night. So, but he wasn't. And guess what he did? He went out to dinner at the Crestwood, because that's what you did after racing. Then he went home, found one of Mom's girdles, put it on, went back to work so he could earn money to fix the car to get back in it that next Saturday night. Some kids, you can't teach. You just can't teach them. So funny. All right, so here's another salesman story about Daddy. When he was working at Southside Lawn and Leisure, another Barton business, all of us have gotten to work or visit or have a candy bar in or peanut brittle. Anyway, Mom stopped by to see Dad one day when he's working at Lawn and Leisure, sells lawnmowers and, you know, that kind of stuff, weed whackers. Dad's telling the customer, you see this here Jacobson lawnmower? This is my father-in-law's favorite lawnmower. It's what he uses. And my mom's like this over here. And she's doing this because, now Pomp probably did love Jacobson lawnmowers, but this is the reason she was shaking her head. He lived in a little trailer park with a piece of grass 4 by 6 foot. It's not even worth starting the lawnmower, right? So guess what he used? The push mower. Up and back, done, back in for another cup of coffee. So Mom was like, this man. And I said, well, technically he didn't lie. He said it's his father-in-law's favorite. You acknowledged he probably did like the Jacobson. He said use. That's loosely used. But anyway, my point is this. When you make these stories and you get older, you do embellish them. You do grow them up, right? Or you do, what do you call it? Highlight the truth. That's what salespeople do. I don't have all that mechanism because I don't know. To me, that's still lying. But we've had many a debate, Dad and I, and that is not lying. He made it very clear. It's truth with a little embellishment. I'm like, okay, Daddy. No. Daddy was a dreamer and a doer and an entrepreneur. He had a vitality for life that was so strong. I told you he'd want to learn something. He'd decide he's going to learn something. He'd go out and he'd buy all the best equipment. He'd read a few things. He'd decide he's going to do it. And when he got what he wanted out of it, next. And on to the next thing. And Linda stayed right behind him and like he said, sometimes probably leading the charge, trying to do those things. So that really is how he was. With all of those endeavors, he met friends along the way. These endeavors caused him to meet the best people that he loved to talk about. All of you. I mean, all of you. Every time we come to visit, I hear at Lake Powell that they had Dress Like Your Spouse night and all these theme parties. And then I hear about Crockpot night at Crescent Run. And here he was just so excited to join some clubs and hang out with our neighbors, and life had another plan. We turned a corner, but that's all right. These friendships and these truth embellishments and these stories are the only things that matter. Only things. It's all you have at the end. It's okay that they went. So here's my poem that I feel today, Grief. People think it's grieving the person you lost, but it's not. It's grieving all the missed moments, right? It's grieving the memories we can't make anymore. It's the empty chair at dinner. I had to leave for 3 weeks. It's the conversations we can't have where he talks back, which might be a little bit of a blessing. Thanks, Dad. It can finally just be one-sided now, right? What do you think, Alan?
You get to win.
I can win this time, Alan said. Yeah. The happiest moments we want to share are in person with the people that we love. We can't disconnect. I found a letter he wrote to Chad and Alan and I, all separately. So surprise! anyway, it was a letter written about something that occurred in our family, and it was prior to something else happening. But his letter was very clear that he loved us, that he wanted us to do well in life, that he has already learned with the recent family split that the only thing that matters is family. It's the only thing. He will not want any more fighting. He would not want any discord. He only wanted love. So that's what's important. That's the only thing that's important. And then the last thing we grieve is future plans. We can't plan for him to be somewhere anymore, right? Can't plan for it. And, you know, like it or not, and believe his stories or not, most of them were true. And it's like we can't stand a long term of silence as Spartans. One of us feels the need to say something to break the silence. So I think that's why he always wanted to be the man of the hour, or bring a party to light if it was kind of dragging, or make sure people felt comfortable. He did so many things for people that people don't even know he did. So that's what I'm saying. Loving someone sets us up for sorrow, but it also encourages us to hope. So grieve for a bit. This is me talking to myself, probably. Grieve about the missed memories, but remember to go out and live your best life and spend your dash exactly how you wish. After the last month of reflection about Dad's life, that it's taken me to get my ducks in a row to have this celebration today. It's the moments you don't get to build together anymore that really matter. And the moment he took that last breath, I was like, remember every story, write it down, do something I wished I'd recorded or anything. And we all know it comes. That's the funniest part. We all know. We all know it comes, right?
Yeah.
So
I tried.
we have to be better at those things. All right, last thing, guys, I'm sorry. Does anyone have a story they want to share? I know how this went last time.
I can.
You can?
I can today because I got to spend time with him.
Oh, okay. You're going to make us cry too? Good job, Kate.
Probably.
I love you for that.
He would talk to me. I got to spend 2 weeks with him. Excuse me, sorry.
Oh, she's leaving.
That was a good one, Kaylee.
He would, he was telling me all the stories. He would tell me, I've done so many things, and people would ask me, how do you know how to do that? And he would say, I just get this feeling. I just have this feeling, and I know how to do it, and I know I can do it. And I was like, I think I have that. And he said, you probably do. You probably got it from me. Do you have the feeling? I said, I think I have the feeling. And so it was those moments when I knew then that they were going to be lasting.
Yeah.
Moments I couldn't get back, but I'm grateful for them because it gave me those opportunities to have those stories and have those moments where he was looking back on his own life with happiness and appreciation and knowing how many people he got to meet and the things that he got to experience. That is what left me leaving that moment knowing he knew he lived a good life. And
Nicely done.
I would say this was my hard one because I knew it was the first. I'm not getting any cards in the mail again.
Yeah. These are lots
Telling
of
me I'm
things.
his number one. Because I'm the number one grandchild. So we always said that I was number one for moral.
You're number one. Always number one. Anybody else? A funny story about Dad? Barb has a shirt on because it became a joke to never leave Dad alone unattended.
Yeah.
In my defense, I was left
unsupervised.
unsupervised. That's what it is. It's supervised.
So it's now his fault that I've been left unsupervised without him.
Ah!
So now I can create mischief and I can say it's John's fault.
John told me to do it.
He wasn't here to hold me
I
back.
love it so much.
There was one great story about both of your folks. They used to talk all the time about, their trips up to Colorado to see family and how they'd love to go back to Montrose and see friends and spend some time up there in the summer. Well, they wanted to leave us one year with a lasting memory of them, so we had something to talk about until they came back. And they kept talking about this Barton rum.
Oh, gosh.
And see, it's an oh gosh. Yeah, you had some.
Yeah.
So they treated us to a large bottle of Barton rum in the pool one day. And we had one of the gentlemen from the park was pouring one for you, one for him, one for you, one for him, and he's a real tall guy, and it took him out. He was laying on the side of the pool at the end of the party going, "I've been Barton rum." And we had to keep checking on him throughout the evening because he handed me his car keys and said, "Take these back to my wife, I can't drive." And I said, "But I've never met her, I was new in the park." So your folks drove me over to his house, and I knock on the door, and his wife comes and says, "Who is it?" And I said, "Well, that's not going to help because you don't know me." But it was all part of the fun that they created all the time. And that really is missed. And we talk about our crock pot dinners. My husband started going around the pool and saying, "You got anything in the crock pot? Good. No, you don't? Good. Because we're going out to dinner tonight." And we just spare the moment, put together a group to go out to dinner, which we still try and do. But John was really the life of those crock pot dinners. And I told him the last time we brought lunch over to his house a few weeks before he passed. And we said, "You know what? The crock pot dinners are way too quiet without you. So you got to get it together for us, John. We need you to do a crock pot dinner with us." So today we brought it to you, but we'd like to do it anyway. And so I am sure that as the crock pot dinners continue, the memories of your dad will continue to be shared, because I think he lives in each one of us a little bit.
I would say he deposits, doesn't he?
He does.
I call them love deposits, love deposits. Yeah, anyone else? Dave, you got something? Dave probably has some really good stories. I bet he does.
We used to do a lot of boating together and a lot of riding motorcycles and all this fun stuff, you know. When he'd be done with his boat, I'd buy it because I was never able to afford that kind of boat until he used it for a while. So anyway, and my last trip with him was on a couple of their new quads. Linda's quad and I had her quad, and we all went up to the.
We all?
Or me and him. Well,
Someone might have left
what I'm always
Dad
saying.
and Dave unsupervised.
Anyway, we were riding through some places that we shouldn't have been riding through or whatever, and we were going up this hill and I'm coming down, and I'm just turning around to say, okay, this is a little too much. I mean, he's a bit older than I am, and here I'm seeing him in the ditch with his new machine on his side, and I'm going, okay, John, what do you want me to help you with first? You want me to get the new machine up, or do you want me to get you up? Get you out of this ditch.
This is not good.
This is not good. So anyway, you know, he was always going to be doing something that's beyond him or whatever, you know. This day it was. And that was my last trip with him in that kind of adventurous thing.
All through until the evening of the ER.
Yeah, and then he ended up having to be hospitalized.
Dave was right. He was enough older than him, and there was a problem.
And that was the end of our little adventures, as far as that. You
They
know.
didn't let you go out again alone. That's why it was the end.
Yeah, whatever. To this day, you know, we all still got to know our limits, you know. Okay, now we don't do this or we don't do that. But he was right there to the end of let's play, you know. So,
Yes, he was.
anyway, he was my playmate. We really had good times together. Lots of good boating trips and motorcycles, and everything was about fun.
Snowballs, snowman. Yep.
Snowmobiles.
Snowmobiles. Yep. Anyone else? Yes.
I just have,
Okay, John kind of upsets me when he's here, because he looks so much better in my hat than
I think it's the coloring is off a little. I don't know. Listen, there's a story. I found a really nice picture. We tried to have it printed. The pixels were terrible. So again, people, we know things are going to happen at some point. Can we just get a little bit prepared? Let's just leave things a little bit better down the road. Anyway, that picture didn't work. And then we were scrambling, and there's not a lot of... It was difficult to find a serious picture of John Barton, because John Barton had fun. Uncle Johnny got ice cream. Uncle Johnny took us boating. Dad was fun. So we looked around, and I already had this pack to be on the memory table, and I was like, you know what? The kid said, Mom, that is Papa. That's Papa. So that's the picture. There you are, Daddy. Hope you like it. This is for you. Anybody else? These are great. Harlan, come on up, my man. Tell me what you and Papa did together. I want to hear.
You have to talk loud.
He showed his gun to me.
Yeah, he
And
did.
I saw him was weak.
Yes. And what else did he let you do? That Grangie let you do this morning a little bit. What did you do always with Papa? Every generation has done this with Papa. How did you get here today to this building? What'd you drive?
Go-kart.
Oh, the golf cart. The golf cart. Yes. Every generation. Your mom learned how to drive on the golf cart. Good story, Harlan. He showed you his gun, didn't he? See what I mean, Alan? Put that in check. I can't talk about it. I'll tell you later. All right. So here's my letter to Daddy, and we'll end this if no one has any other stories. There's many, many, many. We could be here all day, truth to be told. Dear Daddy, I was missing you and our future conversations, our loving banter, our not so loving banter, back to our loving banter, our game playing, our TV watching. Couldn't get enough Cowboy Channel. We watched 100 rodeos in 100 days. And then we watched BattleBots, and anyway, I missed those the moment you took that last breath. We all are going to miss you, but your core memories and the love of your life left the planet. And you were like, I shall be getting a ticket as well. And off he went. And so I say, happy trails, Daddy, until we meet again. And I'm going to say, vaya con Dios. You go with God, Daddy. And he went. And we're going to break bread together and tell more stories. And I'm going to hug on everybody. And thank you so, 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 so much for coming. So, what?
Slideshow.
Oh, I did forget a slideshow. Stay in your seats. Thank you. Now I'm in trouble again. Also forgot I was online. There's a slideshow, people. Okay.
Hold on, I'm lost. There we go. Oh, I gotta start music first.
Now we gather at the river where bright angels have trod with its crystal tide forever awaiting the throne of God.
Okay.
Yes, we'll gather at that river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints at that river that flows by the throne of God. of peace. Yes, we'll gather at that river, beautiful, beautiful river. Gather with the saints at that river that flows by the throne of God. Oh yes, we'll gather at that river that flows by the throne of God. That flows by the throne of God.
Some of these photos, I'd be like, is that Dad? Wait, is that Dad?
Friends page.
What pictures I can find? Take pictures, people. Share them.
You know, he and his big sister always posed that way.
With gang signs?
Yeah. Of each one of them.
Look at that.
I remember that. Oh, look at that.
When I said salesmanship ran in the family, every time we'd come to Arizona, Gaga would talk Dad into getting a perm every time. There's so many pictures of Alan and Dad getting a perm, and me and Linda were like, go, Grandma, go, get them done. She'd be curling their hair, we'd be having fun. I just realized I missed a whole part of my eulogy too, because it's okay. I told you the story of Dad and Linda again. I guess I got sidetracked with this fabulous faces that I've been here before.
Blame your sister.
That's the 40-year class reunion of the high school he did not graduate from.
But he was still invited.
He was still invited, yes he was.
We're just treading water each day.
There's the wreck.
There's a way to feel better. Be well set to
And he flipped end over and 9 times.
I think I was that.
To be fair, he confessed to me when I was here that he really only thought it was 3.
Oh, you are so big tonight. Told the story about when we used to be with the AIDS. I mean, I don't live.
Yeah.
And, you know, she was like, yeah, that white t-shirt, and all that cigarettes in her, and with windows all the yeah. And we had a lot of this. And I knew both of those dogs.
And the joy is always
Okay.
Yeah, boy, we're leaving fast. Somebody better remember. I'm next. Well, I'm, in line. Did you take it? I don't know. Oh, my Barton.
Sit and share stories of flops and of glories. It ain't half as bad as the been.
The other thing that causes a problem now is
Sometimes living is a struggle. Multiply, double, but they love it too much. For the party,
You're lucky they have a picture still, but if you're lucky, you can still see who they are. When you're looking at them,
bubbles up, they will point you towards home. No matter how deep or how far you go, they will show you so when the journey is long.
There's a thing, a motorized thing, always a motor.
There's light up above. There's joy. There is always enough.
It had an engine.
Bubbles up. Let's pop a cork to the rough and the right.
I have those
And the sweet starry night.
Oh, that's cute. Look at them babies.
Bubbles up, they will point us towards home. No matter how.
Wait, is that Dad?
They will show you the surface.
Like that.
Everybody smoked.
Mandy.
There's always enough. Bubbles up.
That's a cute one with Chad.
I know.
No. Anybody has mine though. Yeah, but they ended up back with her. Super terrible daughter.
You can throw these things. Is that what those are for?
Remember when you got in Dad's plane and flew down to Arizona?
Yeah, it was
for
very
birthday?
scary. That's very scary. It's like being in a cracker barrel.
I appreciate y'all, yeah, I really do. Brought all these flowers and your black dresses and suits. But y'all know me.
Wait, I'm serious. Is that Dad?
That ain't me in that box there in front of you. Can't I just get an amen? Can y'all just get out of here? I got the best view ever now that I'm way up here. Joking around with Jesus, catching up with Grandpa. Hurry up, preacher, I'm telling y'all you should be fishing. With a cold beer in your hand. Instead of missing me here, y'all should be missing me there. High up in your deer stand. Save my truck, save my guns, and when they're old enough, give them to my sons. Don't let this stained glass shine on y'all too long. Y'all should be missing me there, high up in your deer stand. Save my truck, save my guns, when they're all loaded up, give them to my sons. Don't let this stained glass shine on y'all too long today. Time is so precious, it ain't gone away. You should be fishing with a cold beer in your hand. Instead of missing me here, y'all should be missing me there. High up in your deer stand. Save my guns when they're loaded up, give them to my sons. Don't let this stained glass shine on y'all too long today. Save the roses, save the roses, save the roses. Don't waste a moment, don't waste a moment.
I got that baby for
They all had a thing about golf carts, didn't they? My mother was like that too. Yeah.
How sweet the sound that sleep.
That was a big millennial party at David Lisa's house. That big family. We brought all the clans together.
Yes, the cops would call that. Yeah, that's the Y2K part. Yeah. We wanted to make sure we were together in case. The world ended.
For the grace that taught my heart to feel, and grace my fears relieve. How precious
Every
Joyce? Yeah.
somewhere different. Like, I don't know if it was one word, I don't know. Look at that one, looks like definitely He was photobombing that. This is one when Linda's at the rehab center and they were flirting back and forth. Good job.
Look at Amos.
when we've been 10,000 years, bright shining.
Date signs, girl.
The sun. Blessed days to sing God's praise. And when we first begun,
Really?
how sweet
I don't, my dad.
that saved a wretch like me.
I did miss a part. I did. I told you about him marrying Mom, and then I had more to my story, and I got sidetracked with all of you, but we already know. In 1972, he met Linda in a bar and wouldn't stop asking her to dance, and finally she was like, okay, and then she danced with him the rest of the night, and they danced together for 52 long, beautiful years. And that's why he decided, I'm not dancing down here alone without her. Not going to do it. The vitality went, you know? So anyway, in 1979, 78, I got a, what's wrong?
It was because her face is rated it, so she's like, oh, that's
It's
beautiful.
on time delay, like times 2
Yeah.
in the picture.
Crystal just bombed the photos.
Yeah.
It's great. So anyway, in 1978, they sat us down, 15 and 13, and said, guess what? You're going to be siblings. You're getting a baby brother. And I told you at Linda's service, from that moment on, that was my baby, not no brother. I got that baby. So in many of these photos, wherever there's a baby, there's a me following him. Took him everywhere with me. But we said to them, why couldn't you have done this sooner so we could have had a fun little brother to pick on and when we were younger, right, and play with. Instead, he just got dragged through the mud by his big siblings. We'd had to take him everywhere. We were grown by then, so he was.
Fear not, I picked on him.
I did not pick on him. No. So anyway, I'll never forget all their things. You've heard them before. When I talked about it, Linda's there. Putting boats on oceans, getting permits to drive them across multiple states with big wide flags, and Linda out helping him to back, and Lake Powell trips, and just too much fun in the sun. They knew how to live life fully and well, and they taught us all many things. Sometimes not good things, but I'll miss him forever for sure until I meet him again. So, and if I don't, I'll haunt him somewhere else. Trust me.
Heck of a party going on.
Yeah, isn't there? Indeed. Anyway, I was going to say, Annie Joyce is probably so darn mad. Like, didn't even get 6 months for real. Like, she just always.
Before her little brother.
Yeah, he just on her all the time, like a gnat, I was like, sorry, I tried. I can't. I'm sure. No, truthfully, they're all glad to be back together, I'm sure. And their gain's our loss. And also our gain. So. All right, let's break bread together and hug and kiss. And Chad, your sister, I don't know about your brother, she's hugging you tight. All right, thanks everyone.
Good job, kid.
We can, let's
I'll slap you
eat.
in the back.
Please.
Give him the bird.
Napkins, let's do things right.
Invitation.